Good afternoon, everybody. So, I think we are now here for the best panel of today, which discusses the hottest topic of AI in media. And I'm Paritosh, partner with Athari Little Middle East. And today we have a panel of esteemed senior executives from Stars Play, Al Mashad TV, and Bailey. Perhaps we start with a very quick two-line introduction from each one of them, please.
Okay, I'm Srinivas Kupar, Head of Technology at Al Mashad.
Hi everyone, Faraz from Stars Play.
I'm Dominic Bailey from Bailey AI. Do you want more than that? So I come from broadcast traditionally. I was Showtime, 10 Sports, Sky News Arabia, Discovery Europe, etc., etc. And then since then, I've focused on bringing advanced technology, enterprise-grade technology to everybody, be it the four M's, as I call it: media, money, marketing, and medical.
Thanks. So let's directly get into the meat and let's start with a quick rapid fire question. So, what are the top two to three most meaningful AI use cases that you see being deployed across the media sector? Not just pilots, but actual implementations that are delivering value. Perhaps we start with Srinivas.
There are many use cases nowadays, especially in the distribution domain. You have keyframes, reframes on the distribution domain. In the production side, there are content creation, voice synthesis, avatars. There are typical transcribed subtitles. These are the typical use cases we have seen, especially in our production side in the television in the industry. That's
For us in a media segment, a lot of use cases, recommendations, predictions, personalization, a lot of transformation and development while we are engineering the product. So it's from the product offering side, and then engagement, and then obviously the back end where you're developing the products and how you're transforming yourselves using AI with the help of AI and how fast the productivity is now. So these are the key use cases that we are working on and focusing on all the areas: engagement, operational excellencies, and everything else.
Yeah, I mean you covered most of it. It's what I'd call the low-hanging fruit. So the stuff that's easy. So adding metadata, basic personalization, recommendations, some content creation, not so much, dubbing, subtitling, or all of these straightforward, easy use cases.
That's great. That's great. And for us, like for streaming platforms, I think personalization and recommendation, it's a key aspect of their business, right? And you mentioned that. So how do you see AI helping you move from the traditional model of that, oh, you watched this, so you should see that, right? So if you could talk about it.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting use case, right? Earlier, people used to say we are hybrid and rule based, but we have a bit of influence of AI. But in reality, very less influence it used to be compared to what we are doing now. So earlier, we used to have a reasoning delivered AI, which is you have different use cases defined, and accordingly AI is reacting to it. But now, recently, in fact, from the last one and a half year, we transform ourselves from the actual traditional rules-driven recommendation engine towards a fully hyper-personalized recommendation engine with the help of AI. So we have multiple models behind the scene who's powering up this kind of engagement, and we immediately started seeing a different shift in terms of engagement, streaming analytics, consumption of the content, and then not only towards just specific genres of entertainment, but also towards sports. And there used to be a element of cross-functional or cross-genre engagement, where how can we offer entertainment towards sports segment versus the other way. So with this power of AI, we were able to achieve this kind of engagement from the audience, and we're clearly seeing the spikes towards when there are big matches. So in the same days, there are, entertainment engagement also is lifting up. And then uh, in the other way around, so let's say if we are producing an original, we are able to offer some of the sports content as well, which may be relevant to it, and it self-picks automatically, and it gets,
No,
we
that's
can see the
quite
results.
interesting. So if someone is watching Serie A football, so based on his watching football, you're able to suggest him watch movies should
So
they watch?
Maradona-driven biographies, this kind of a thing, right? So let's say if someone is watching a car race, so we have few assets which are mainly made on F1. So those kind of relevances now been able to offer, and we are seeing this shift in the overall consumption pattern. And yeah, so far it's helping us massively. And then another big use case that we have been able to extract out of this implementation is ads, targeted ads, right? So we have AWOD as part of our offering as well. So that's where it's helping us profiling the customer, so that we can offer him a right advertisement, right? So if you are more into sports, we'll be mostly offering you the sports ads like Nikes or Adidas of the world, right? So if you're more towards a dramatic entertainment kind of a thing, so you'll be able to get more about like clothing ads or those kind of e-commerce platforms who are offering. So this is something, another thing which we have been able to achieve recently, and it's actually helping us pretty well in defining the right profile of each and every customer.
And last question on this. So all of this, is it already visible in the KPIs that you track?
Yeah. So few very important KPIs, right? How long it takes a customer to land on your platform and to play. So time to play is one of the thing which is a very early identifier which can tells you whether this is working or not. Followed by CTR, click-through rate. So if people are clicking and going into descriptions, that means they are looking into those kind of interests, but they may not be able to play, or maybe they've started the session, but they not be able to continue. So that we know this kind of content is not on a major completion rate. So let's offer him something else. One of the thing which we have done in our platform is when you are refreshing our layout, every refresh has a different predicts. So that's basically a main driver behind getting to know your customer faster and then accordingly drive his consumption.
Excellent, excellent. Moving on to you, Srinivas. You work a lot in newsroom and TV content production. So how is AI assisting in content production and management?
Okay, what we have built is what we call it as enterprise AI landscape for us, in which we have primary functions for the content creation, creativity, production, and then we have support functions. So within that enterprise landscape, what we have seen is the adoption rate for the creative side is higher. For example, creating promo productions, text to image translations or conversions, text to videos for all the creativity aspects. In terms of the news, it's very important for us to identify the deep fake. Also, it is very important to do the deep research, so that editorial staff can create a meaningful article for television channels, for the news production. So this is where we have helped and built in-house something called MCP, Multimodal Context Protocol, where we integrated several models and built a meaningful output and a workflow where media management can be achieved. For example, upscaling of old content or a disorganized content can be upscaled in the NOC workflows. In the newsroom editorial deep research. These are the different content production side we have achieved so far, and it's evolving. Every day there are new things coming up. So we have to keep up with the trend.
Oh, that's great. And a point on Harry, because you mentioned a lot of
your own model as well now. There's so much compute flying around, it's not even beyond the realms of possibility to do it. But I think the biggest thing with the bias is you can build completely around it. I mean, when I was looking at news, a solution for news, I was using AI agents to go and gather news from all of the different sources and plot them on a spectrum so you could see this side or that side. Here's what everybody agrees on, here's what everyone disagrees on, and make up your own mind, right? I mean, anyone who thinks today that the news is not biased, I can say this now, right? I think I'm allowed to say this now, I'm not in news anymore. Just look at the BBC and the Trump thing. I mean, come on, BBC. So everybody has their own bias in news anyway. So if you want to understand bias in content creation and AI, then you need to just understand how society works and build against bias. All of these things can be de-risked, all of these things can be removed, and everything is entirely possible. And the benefits of doing this far outweigh the excuses for not.
Very well said. Thank you. So we have the last couple of minutes here. So moving on to the last question. Like looking ahead, and it's a question for all of you. So looking ahead, what do you think are some of the big bets, like emerging AI use cases, which are not implemented yet, which you think can fundamentally change or let's say transform to a certain extent the media landscape in terms of how content is produced, personalized, and monetized? Srinivas?
Okay, as we move on, actually currently what we see is a computing power is a bottleneck. For a production and the live type of environment, if there is a live AI that can help a computing power, that is the future that we are looking at. Not only managing the metadata of the live content, but also the content itself. I wish we are trying one experiment to produce a live, highlights of the news. So if we can produce a 10-minute highlights live, just within less than 3 seconds, that will be a good achievement for us in the near future. But in the long term, what we see is quantum can definitely help quantum leap the AI for its achievement or advancement of the quantum can also help AI achieve in a different direction. That's the future I see.
So I guess the biggest bet, what we gonna see soon is right now, as Dom was mentioning, everyone is trying to enable AI in their operations and their day-to-day's work, in their products as well. But there will be a point where people will start to go back and think about how we control this now, because it's not going to be like as easy as it used to be to manage this. I don't know how many people in this room have some awareness around something around model poisoning. That's another big thing which is hitting us or everyone in the world of AI, where people have started abusing their models, and it's so easy to do that. I mean, it doesn't matter whatever use case you are in. As Dom was mentioning, there is a point where you can easily bluff your own model and start to get a different kind of an output. I guess a lot of focus is going to be towards governance for this kind of adoption. And once you have a right governance in place, right protocols and standards in place, Srinivas was talking about MCPs as well. We all have, MCPs to interact with each other, but even on those MCPs as well, I can easily poison anyone's model. So these kind of things are going to be the next bets that we all have to deal with. At the same time, we'll be also, identifying the real use cases that are actually allowing us to enable AI in a right way. So I think this is where I see ourselves as well going towards, where perhaps out of 10, 6 or 7 use cases are the ones where we're going to be focusing more on, and then securing them, governing them, putting them in a right structure, and then take a lead from there.
So I think it's a dangerous one, right? But I personally see a world of completely personalized content. And actually it was a vision that we've spoken about, and Cooper will know, for 10, 15 years or so, how we could do this. And it's become easier all of a sudden. So I think there was a panel, again, this one, I don't know, maybe five years ago, where someone said algorithms can't cry, meaning that you can't create content that touch the emotional impact that content should have for all of us, right? It's storytelling. That's what we do. We tell stories. Some are true, some are fake, but we tell stories. So relying on AI to do that, I don't think is the future. But using AI to personalize content to you, I do think is the future, specifically when it comes to sport or what you just said, Cooper, in fact, which is possible today. I'll help you do it if you want. We can talk afterwards. But I think that the whole creating personalized content, we'll see in the next year, probably this year, gaming experience where game worlds are rendered on the fly, right? And that can be, we can create content on the fly, which means we can customize content on the fly. And then you can ultimately personalize it. And I'm working with a company called Astuse Media, and they come from the graphics world, where effectively it's using data to create stories and what have you. And one of the reasons I'm working with them is exactly this. How do we create a content experience for somebody that's completely personalized using the technology that's available today? So I think that's the near-term use case for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful insights. I think super helpful. And again, thank you. Thanks for your time and insights.
Thank you.
Cheers.